Hello and welcome. In today's video I will be creating a good luck card, two get well soon cards and a congrats card, and I will be using some of these dies and from these Nelly's multi-frames. And I will be using these two embossing folders and these two letter stamp sets. For my focal points I will be using this stamp set which you saw me already using in my previous video. First I am stamping this teddy bear in Memento Tuxedo Black. To color my image I am using some watercolor pencils from Faber-Castell, and I am starting by putting the first layer in the lightest brown tone onto the paper. Now I am activating the color using some water, and I am using an inexpensive brush which I purchased from IKEA. After this first layer has dried, I am continuing using some inexpensive colored pencils. I'm starting with my darkest brown tone, and first I am coloring in the nose, leaving a white spot as a reflection, and then I am coloring the areas which are supposed to be the shadow parts. And then I am coming in with my mid brown tone and I am blending into the darkest brown. In between I am coming back with my darkest brown tone to add some more contrast, and as I go lighter I am going over the darker tone and I am blending the colors together. Now I am coming in with my lightest brown tone of the colored pencils, and again I am blending over the darker colors and I am adding some more details. For the center of my flower I am using a vibrant yellow tone, and then I am coloring around the center using an reddish orange, and then I am blending in with an orange going over to some dark yellow. And again I am starting coloring the grass using my darkest green tone, and then I am blending in a mid-tone going over to the lightest green tone. And then I am fussy cutting my teddy bear with some scissors, leaving a small white border. To get a matching card base I am coloring the edges with some Memento Rich Coca, and I am applying the color directly with my ink pad. Next I am coloring an index card using Jackson's color 306, and after I have applied a good amount of pigments I am activating the pigments with some water using a white brush which is from the same brush set as the brush I've used before. Now I am going to stamp my sentiment using this letter stamp set. Using my stamp positioner I am now stamping the sentiment good luck in Memento Tuxedo Black. From the rectangle stitch die set I am using the second smallest die to cut out my sentiment, and then I am distressing the edges using some Memento Potter's clay. From this watercolor set with 24 colors I am using the darkest brown tone to color an index card. These are very inexpensive watercolors which I bought from a local store, so you can use just what you have in your stash. And I am applying the color using an ordinary sponge. Then I am cutting out a piece using the second largest die from this die set. Then I am embossing the cutout using this embossing folder. With some Momento Rich Cocoa, which I am applying with an ordinary sponge, I am bringing out the pattern from the embossing folder. For my panel I have chosen a pattern paper from this paper pad. And now I am ready to assemble my card. Using some wet adhesive I am adhering the panel to my card base, and I have trimmed down the panel slightly smaller than my card base. Now I am adhering the teddy with some foam tape to my label, and using some wet adhesive I am adhering the sentiment to my panel. And finally I am adhering my focal point using some double-sided tape. And ready is my first card. For my next panel I am creating some kind of background paper using this little flower from the stamp set, and I am stamping the little flower using an acrylic block. I have already started off camera, and I am using a colored index card which I have colored in with Jackson's color 306, and for the flower stamps I am using Momento Tangelo, Rich Cocoa and Potter's Clay, and I am stamping with no rhyme or reason, just filling in my background. This piece of an index card is also colored in Jackson's color 306, and now I am stamping my sentiment using this letter stamp set. To find the right position for my sentiment I am marking the shape of the die using a pencil. And then I am stamping my sentiment, Get Well Soon, using some Momento Tuxedo Black. Using the second smallest die from this die set I am cutting out my sentiment. Using the second largest die from this die set I have made a cutout from an index card which I have colored in using Jackson's color 312. And now I am embossing the cutout using this embossing folder. To bring out the embossed pattern even more I am coloring over it using some Momento Potter's Clay. And again I am applying the color using an ordinary sponge. And then I am distressing the edges also using Momento Potter's Clay. And here I am distressing the edges of my sentiment. And now I can bring my card together. I have already colored the edges of my card base as shown before using some Momento Potter's Clay, and using some wet adhesive I am now adhering the panel to my card base. Also with some wet glue I am adhering the embossed label, and now I am adhering my sentiment using some foam adhesive. For those of you who do not like coloring for any reason, I have an alternative. Just color in the flower as I have shown before, and then leave the teddy bear simply as it is. Now I am adhering the teddy bear using some wet adhesive, and I am adhering the teddy bear a little off, and I am trimming off the excess. And ready is my second card. For my next card I am using some colored cardstock as my card base, and I have already trimmed down a fitting piece in the size of my card base, and now I am adhering this piece to my card base. As my panel I have chosen this pattern paper from the same paper pad I have used before. From the Nellie's multi-frame circle dies I am using the 6th largest die to make a cutout from the panel. Using the 7th largest die from this die set, I am cutting out an oval using the leftover from my first card. Then I have embossed this oval using this embossing folder, and again I am distressing the embossed pattern using some Memento Rich Coca. From this die set I am using the smallest die to cut out the inside to create a frame. From this watercolor set I have chosen this ochre to color in a piece of index card on which I have stamped my sentiment "Get Well Soon", and then I have cut out the sentiment using a slightly smaller oval than my frame. And with some wet glue I am adhering the two pieces together. And again I am using the stamped image from this teddy bear, which I have already colored in, and now I am adhering the teddy bear to my panel, and I am adhering the lower part from behind, so the teddy bear peeks through the cutout. And to the upper part of the teddy bear I have already added some foam adhesive. With some wet adhesive I am adhering the panel to my card base. To adhere my sentiment I am using a slightly thinner foam adhesive. To add a little more interest I have decided to add a circle frame around the peek-through hole, and therefore I have cut out a frame using the 5th and the 7th largest circle die. And I am preparing this circle frame the same way I have prepared the frame for my sentiment. Now I am finding the right position for the piece I need to cut out, so the frame would go behind the flower. And then I am adhering the circle frame using some wet adhesive. For some more interest I have made two cutouts using this corner die, and I have colored them in using some Memento Rich Coca, which I have applied directly to the cutouts. And now I am adhering the corners using some wet adhesive to my card. And ready is my third card. For my last card I have created a quick and simple layout for those who don't have a die cutting machine. In my stamp positioner I have stamped the images, as you can see here, using some Memento Tuxedo Black, and then I have colored the flowers using some colored pencils. To add a little interest to the flowers I am adding some transparent glitter nail polish. And this is my last card for today. And here are the 4 cards of today's video. I hope you had fun and enjoyed today's video. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to check on my other videos. I hope I see you soon. Have a nice day. Bye.